You know that feeling, right? That constant pull from your devices, like you're being dragged in 100 different directions at once? Well, today, we're giving it a name, the tyranny of the urgent.
So let's just dive right in. It all starts with that sound, that ping, that buzz. We're going to talk about the real price we pay for every single one of those interruptions.
I mean, think about it for a second. A text comes in, a news alert, an email, a calendar reminder. They all show up with the same digital emergency siren, basically screaming for your attention right now. And here's the real problem, isn't it? Your phone has no idea what's important. It treats a life-changing email from your boss exactly the same as a notification that your pizza is 5 minutes away. To your phone, it's all just information that has to get to you immediately. So, when your phone screams urgent at everything, guess what? Your brain starts to believe it. This constant flood of alerts just hijacks your focus, it cranks up your stress, and it keeps you stuck in a reactive mode. Your mental energy, that's the currency, and you're spending it on every single ping. Okay, so this brings us to the most important question we can possibly ask ourselves. We feel this incredible pressure with every notification, but is that feeling real? Is everything that dings and buzzes actually critical? The answer? Not even close. If you actually sat down and looked at your notifications from the last hour, you'd realize almost none of them, very, very few, are truly important for your big goals or your well-being. The rest, it's just noise. And this is where we really get to the heart of it. We need a totally new way to think about all this stuff. It's basically a battle between two different ideas, the loud, obnoxious, urgent, and the quiet, calm, important. And the conflict is pretty simple when you break it down. Urgent things are loud. They demand your attention. They make you react. But the important stuff? Well, that's quiet. It doesn't send you a notification, things like planning your future or learning a new skill. You have to be proactive to even find them. So once we have that framework, it becomes crystal clear what most notifications really are. They're urgent, sure, but they are not important. They're just loud distractions that trick you into feeling productive. So how do we actually start sorting through all this noise? Well, the good news is this isn't a new problem, and there's a really solid, proven model that can help us find some clarity. Yeah, this idea was famously used by President Eisenhower. He had this matrix that forced him to ask 2 questions for any task. Is it urgent and is it important? It's such a powerful way to realize that what's urgent is almost never important, and what's truly important is almost never urgent. But look, you don't need to draw a 4-quadrant box every time your phone buzzes. We can boil that entire powerful idea down into one simple, sharp tool you can use the minute we're done here. This is all about creating just a tiny bit of space, a pause between the ping and your reaction. And in that little moment of pause, you just ask yourself one simple question. This is it. This is the whole filter. Does reading this news alert, does scrolling through this feed, does it actually help you get closer to your goals? Does it move your life forward in any meaningful way? You'll find that most of the time, the answer is a really, really freeing no. And once you get in the habit of asking that question, something much bigger starts to happen. It's not just about managing a few notifications anymore. It's about adopting a whole new philosophy for how you use your focus. It really comes down to these 2 simple things. First, you have to actively protect what matters. Carve out time for that quiet, important stuff. And second, and this might feel a little weird at first, you just let the noise expire. Seriously, most of those urgent things, they just resolve themselves or turn out to be totally irrelevant. You don't have to answer every call. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple. Urgent does not mean important. Your phone will never learn the difference between the two, but you can. And you do that by using that one question filter to guard what actually matters to you. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about all the little interruptions you're going to face today. Now that you have this new way of looking at them, what's the first piece of noise you're going to choose to just let expire?